इस वक्त हमारे साथ हैं सैमुअल बद्री, किसी परिचय के मोहताज नहीं, अपने आप में स्पेशलिस्ट हैं जिन्होंने T20 में लेग स्पिन गेंदबाजी को डिफाइन किया है। बद्री, इन मेनी वेज, फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल थैंक यू फॉर टॉकिंग टू अस। इन मेनी वेज you are a pioneer, somebody who just carved a niche for yourself in T20 format. Could you talk about that? Because normally we associate with players like Test cricket, making a mark in Test cricket or ODI cricket. You made a different kind of mark in T20 format.
Yeah, I think first of all, a pleasure to be here with you and to all of your viewers and listeners. When I started, T20 was in the infancy of its birth, really, and it provided an opportunity then to get used to a different format. And I did that job with the new ball for my local team in Trinidad and Tobago, and then I had great success there. And I was able to do that for the national team, the Trinidad and Tobago national team, and I did that for them in the regional tournament. And after having performed creditably and well enough for a number of years, I was eventually selected for the West Indies team in 2012. And as fate would have it, we went on to win that World Cup. We went on to do well in the 2014 World Cup, didn't win then, but then we replicated that 2012 win in 2016 in India. And I think I had some really good performances throughout my career. It's always been a difficult job bowling in the power play for any bowler, but particularly for a spinner. And for me, I'm just grateful for all of the wonderful performances I had along the way in helping the West Indies to those two World Championships.
Badree, any growing up players, where any part of the world, there is so much insistence on being a Test cricketer, proper cricket, or even ODI format. You have to play all format. You have to make your mark. You somehow shown a way. Even if you don't play Test cricket, it's okay. If you don't make it to the ODI team, it's okay. The current generation is about T20 and you can make a mark. In that sense, you have been a bona fide legend. How do you look at that in the sense that a lot of youngsters can look up to you, say, my skill set is not good enough for a red ball player. I can be an excellent T20 player with bat or ball.
Yeah, to be honest, the ambition was to play red ball cricket, to play Test cricket. But once I realized that my skill set didn't necessarily allow me to do that, I wanted to maximize the skill that I had, and that allowed me in T20 cricket to do that. I didn't play one-day international cricket either, but I was still able to forge quite a successful career in T20. So the message, therefore, for young players is that don't pigeonhole yourself into one format. Give yourself the best chance in whichever format you think you can succeed in. And for the younger players coming through, it might be white ball cricket. It might be less so Test cricket. But for me, I want you all to believe in yourself and to give yourself the best opportunity at success with the skill set that you've got. Don't let anybody else determine where you can end up or what you can achieve. Let you determine that for yourself.
Were there any stage in career, you were like told by anyone or someone, because there is a distinct bias, cricketing bias, if you are not good at red ball or playing ODI cricket. How do you cope with that? And anytime just wanted to prove people wrong, people just consider, because T20, when you opted to become a specialist, it was not considered that cool.
Yeah, absolutely. There was always that pressure to try to play red ball cricket and to make that red ball team, whether it is at a territorial level here in the West Indies or for the West Indies team. But again, once I realized that that wasn't going to be a reality, I focused on what my strength was. And unfortunately for me, at that time, T20 cricket was just blossoming, and it allowed me an opportunity to, I would say, showcase my skills in that format. Had it not been for the advent of T20 cricket, I might not have had a successful career in cricket. So it happened serendipitously for me, in that I had that opportunity at the right time, in the right format with my skill set. But yes, there is pressure from a cricketing standpoint for younger players coming through to aspire to red ball cricket, aspire to Test cricket. But I would say don't let anyone sort of put that pressure on you unnecessarily. You have your ambition, whether it is red ball, whether it is white ball, whether it is T10, T20, whatever it is, you have that ambition and just go for it.
Are you a little surprised because you've shown the world that leg spin can be a very attacking option, especially in power play? Not too many teams have adopted that strategy.
I think initially when I came through with T20 cricket, we didn't have too many wrist spinners around, and wrist spin by its very nature possesses that mystery. Guys aren't too sure which way the ball is going. So from the moment they see a wrist spinner, whether it is a right hand wrist spinner or a left hand wrist spinner, you have a psychological advantage. As the game has evolved, we've seen a plethora of wrist spinners come through. A huge majority of the top 10 T20 international bowlers in the world at one point were wrist spinners. I think it was up to 9 out of 10 were wrist spinners, or something like that, some ridiculous number. And it had to do with the fact of that mystery and guys not able to play wrist spinner as well. It has changed a little bit, but still they have quite a potent role to play. And we see many teams, whether it is franchise teams or international teams, focus heavily on having a wrist spinner in your 11 because it's a wicket taking option, it's an attacking option, and in any format that's important. The ability to take wickets always keeps you in the game.
Is Yuzvendra Chahal the best leg spinner currently?
I think he's up there. I've seen him operate in the IPL. I'll give him one thing: he's a very courageous bowler. He bowls slowly no matter what the situation. And as a wrist spinner myself, sometimes when you get hit for 6, your first instinct is just to fire it in. Not Yuzvendra Chahal. He bowls it even slower. So I'll give him that. Very courageous. And his record speaks for itself. Very successful in the IPL, successful in T20 internationals. Shamsi just recently picked up wickets against England. Another one who is at the top of the log. But for me, Rashid Khan has to stand out and has to be the number 1 wrist spinner in the world in T20 cricket.
Tell me about Rashid Khan, since obviously you have spoken about. There is a mystery around Rashid Khan every time we have seen in IPL and everyone. What makes Rashid Khan so special? Why it has taken so many world-class batters to figure out?
Yeah, I think it's the pace at which he bowls, number 1. So he has that mystery in terms of the variety, but also the pace. So even if as a batsman you are picking him through the hand, you still have to play it off the pitch, and he doesn't allow you that time. So you can't necessarily go down the track to him. You have to play him essentially from your crease, which makes it so much more difficult as a batsman to get any momentum in your swing. So for me, it's the pace at which he bowls in addition to his variety and his accuracy, his control. All of these things make him such a lethal bowler in T20 cricket.
My last 2 questions, brother. You have given me enough time. What do you make of this young leggy Ravi Bishnoi, whatever little you have seen in West Indies and earlier in IPL? Ravi Bishnoi.
Yeah, very impressive from what I've seen. I've seen him in the IPL in television, and I'm seeing him live now here in the West Indies. His control is quite good. And again, sometimes with technology and so many footage that you can look at from a bowler, he's still able to surprise batsmen, because we all know that he bowls a lot of skidders and a lot of googlies, but he's still able to have that success. One thing I'll say is that the more he plays, the more batsmen will figure him out. So you'll have to find ways to continue to evolve to be successful, because initially, as a player coming into the system, you experience that success because of that lack of knowledge. But the more you play and the more people understand what you do, it's a little bit more difficult. But certainly the control, the pace at which he bowls, his googly, so much to like about the young man, and I want to wish him all the best.
My final question, Badree. When you see the likes of Ashwin playing in this team, do you think that India will be better off with someone like Deepak Hooda, who can bowl those 4 overs of a spin? What, as a captain, if you were captain or coach of Indian team, who will be your first choice, Hooda or Ashwin?
Well, if I have to choose between those 2, I'll go with Ashwin, because I want someone who can take wickets for me. So if we have a bowler who can give me 4 overs like Hooda and maybe bowl economically, yeah, that's good. He can bat as well. But sometimes in T20 cricket, you want someone who could come into that middle over phase and get wickets for you. I keep focusing on that. And Ashwin has that ability. He has so much guile, so much skill. He can bowl that carom ball, he can bowl slowly, and he can give you that wicket-taking option. Someone who's not in the 11, the wrist spinner, Kuldeep Yadav, another wicket-taking option. So many options for this Indian team from a wicket-taking standpoint. And for me, in T20 cricket, that's what you want. Sunil Narine has been so successful because of his ability to take wickets. So too Rashid Khan. And these are the types of bowlers that you'll rely on as a captain in your 11. So Deepak Hooda, whilst he might provide that all-round ability, if you're looking for someone to take you wickets, Ravi Ashwin is the man.
Before I let you go, since you just touched the topic, I couldn't resist the temptation of asking one more question. Is Indian bowling attack good enough to win a World Cup trophy in Australia, considering the Australian conditions in mind?
Yeah, I think so. I think they have enough experience in there. Bhuvneshwar Kumar, absolutely fantastic with the new ball, and they have Ashdeep Singh, who is quickly becoming a real specialist death bowler. So with those 2, and then you have your spinners, Hardik Pandya can give you some overs. I think the bowling attack in totality is a strong one. But again, conditions in Australia might not suit the spinners as much as it would the fast bowlers. So they might be searching for someone else. Of course, Jasprit Bumrah isn't here, and we can't talk about the Indian bowling attack without mentioning him. So when you put him into the equation, yes, it is a very strong team.
Thank you so much, Samuel Badree, for your precious time. I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
No problem. Cheers.
Great.